It's boy Mirage, man. I'm back. It's the Black Up Man. I'm on you now. So we're going to go ahead and go into your first take. This is the Black Up Man part 1. As I said at the end of my previous tape, the Black Up Man is one who suffers from the guilting and shaming and the confusion that was passed down to his mother. Passed down to him by his mother. And since his mother chose more than likely the wrong type of guy, and she made some bad decisions in her youth, she doesn't want to just be real and tell him this. Okay. So what she does is she passes off a responsive behavior to always react to things in the feminine way of mentality. And what do I mean by that? By things being disorganized and not being assembled. What do I mean? In the previous tape, I gave you the example. The feminine principle or the feminine energy is an unorganized energy. It's abstract. That's why anything can come from it and anything can be created from it. It's the cosmic womb. It has all potential. That is what it is. Okay. So imagine just the nighttime sky with all them stars in it. It's all potential. But the masculine principle is the one that comes in and organizes it, that comes in and assembles it, that comes in and accounts for all of it, and actually realizes it and manifests it into a physical reality. So the masculine principle actually will take the puzzle pieces, put these pieces together into a picture, and now we can see a physical picture of the realized reality or the potential that the feminine energy had. But the Black Up Man, he is missing this skill. He doesn't know how to account for and assemble and organize the chaotic energy that his mother has given him. The confusion. Where was my father? What's the history of my father? What was his real relationship with my mother? Why didn't my father grow up when I was around? What wasn't with me when I was growing up? Why when I called my father, he didn't pick the phone up? So, the Black Up Man as a kid, he's wondering all this stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because what I'm doing is I'm going into the origin of where his simpery comes from, where his non-accountability when it comes to women, where all this comes from, why he Captain Save-A-Hoes for all women. I'm going into where all this shit comes from. Why he thinks that women can do no wrong, because the first symbol of the female was his mother. And this symbol had the potential and the possibility of being tainted and damaged. Because if the son really knew that the father was just somebody she met at the club and it was a hit it and quit it, or B, she had a good relationship with the father, but she ran him away by either being a bitch or cheating on him or whatever. But either A or B, she doesn't want the Black Up Man's son to know any of this stuff. So she starts to create these illusions and these deceptive damn lies and stories and tells it to the Black Up Man. So this is what I mean by she transfers the feminine way of mentality to the Black Up Man, because a lot of us say that he's a beta male and he, adopts his mother's ways. But now we going deep into, well, what is he actually adopting from her? And what he's adopting is he's adopting the chaos energy that she put into his brain when it comes to the questions he had. And the questions are all centered around how he got to this planet. See, everybody wants to know at some point in their life the history of how they got here. I know I did. You know what I'm saying? There was a point where, well, that really wasn't the case. Because, see, when I was a child, I saw my mom and my father together all the time. And although they may have not been married, but I can say that they were around each other enough, and they raised, you know what I'm saying? I saw my mom and my dad all the time, like together. I may have grown up with my mom, but my dad always would come over and get us on the weekends. He always would take us to the movies and things of this nature. You know what I'm saying? He'd come to my basketball games, So although I may have not gotten to experience everything I wanted with my dad when I got older, like in my 20s and things like that, in my late teens, but I can honestly say from for example, when I was conceived and when my mother was pregnant, my father was there. When I first was born and came out my mother's womb, my father was there. When I was a baby, growing up into my toddler years, my father was there. When I was a toddler up into my early teens, my father was there. And then around my mid-teens to late teens, he slick faded a little bit. And then by my 20s, he just still slick faded a little bit more. Okay. And then now in my later 20s, you know what I'm saying? I don't talk to him as much, But, you know, I don't have no beef with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, like I could still talk to him if I were to see him. So I just said all that to say, I know the history between my mother and my father. I saw my mother and my father reading books and studying together all the time as a kid. I saw my mother and father drinking wine and having conversations about so-called black history as a child all the time growing up. So none of this stuff is new to me. Okay. I saw my mother and father's arrangement together. All right. So although I didn't see them married or any of that, you know, type of stuff, but I saw them respecting each other. I saw them dealing and talking with each other. OK, I saw them being, you know, kind and neutral with each other. All right. So was it this typical marriage like everybody claims they want? You know, no, it may not have been that. But at the end of the day, it was enough for my psychological and emotional state to stay intact, for me to know the history between my parents. You know, how did my parents get together? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did my dad go? You know, what was this going on, etc. And even when I had certain questions, I could ask my mother. She could tell me certain things. You know, when you met my dad, what did he have going on? You know what I'm saying? When you met my dad, what was you thinking y'all's relationship was going to be like? You know, when y'all broke up, what happened? You know what I'm saying? What was you thinking? What was he thinking? And then my mother gave me these answers. Okay. And then on top of that, my mother didn't lie to me. So all that plays into the part of a young man to make sure that he doesn't become a black up man. Because by my mother not castrating me and being able to give me the history between her and my father, that allowed me to see, okay, this is where I came from. This is how I was conceived. And I know the history of what I am and who I am. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm not mad about anything. And as I said, my relationship with my father may not be the best, but I'm not mad at him because I know the history of where I come from. And my dad at least did enough. And I will say this, he was in there in the young years of my life, which really is the most important. You know what I'm saying? So I was there to see him battle against a white man and to make sure I'm not afraid of white people. He was there to tell me to always stay on my square and to always look people in the eye and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He was there to make sure that I knew how to be a hustler and I knew how to sell candy and cut grass and do this and always try to get my own money. So my dad was able to tell me these things as a kid. And this is why I'm a grown man now and I'm still on point. But the black up man, he didn't get to experience that. Why? Because his mother robbed him of that. And then she guilted him and shamed him and then lied to him because she didn't want him to really know why his father wasn't around. Because A, she was either a whore, or B, you know what I'm saying, she did something to run him away. So the black up man, he's lied to, you know what I'm saying, at a very, very early age. And this sets up the simpery. And this sets up his non-accountability that he has for women. This is why women can do no wrong to him. Because one thing about it, no man wants his mother's image to be, you know, impure. And no man wants to really hear anything bad about his mother. And no man wants to really see his mother do anything suspect. Because that would damage a man forever. Okay? That would damage a man forever. You know? And once again, all these mothers are out here aren't perfect. But I will say this. I do salute the mothers that don't let their children see their fuckery. And if they do, you know, have a boyfriend or something on the side, they don't do that around their children. I salute the women that do that. Now, I will say that shit because that plays into the black up man and creating a black up man, too. When the mother just whores herself out and let her children see her with all these different boyfriends and stuff like that, that damages a son's mind. When a child sees his mom be financially dependent on a man. And when a child sees his mom, the black up man, when he sees his mom basically play the role of a concubine to some other man. And then this is what his so-called mom is. This sets everything up for him to start being the black up man because he feels like he has to save his mother because he doesn't know what women really are. As I was talking to an OG earlier, the black up man suffers from being overcharged on the positive polarity. He's pro-positive everything. No, she really didn't do this. If she got gangbanged, well, she got gangbanged because her father wasn't around. So he'll start projecting this on other people. So it won't be that she was a whore and made the wrong decision. It'll be, oh, her father wasn't around. Okay, so he'll start being too positive about everything. He'll see the ghetto gags or he'll see a Blackbeard Mirage Negro bed snitch tape. Oh, well, you know, where the black man really left her and it's too many men locked up and well, she's educated and she needs and there's no black men and where she works. So once again, he's just pro-positive because the woman can do no wrong. Another thing is this. The black up man also is being deceived by the black preacher. Because the black preacher is also the one who keeps the black up man on ice and keeps him castrated. Because what they do is they reinforce that bullshit black Negro Christian dogma. Okay, because you remember the black preacher is pimping the Negro bedstitch and the so-called black woman, who's the mother of this black up man. Okay, so he's keeping her happy. All right, and since the young child sees that black preacher supporting his Negro bedstitch mother or his black mother, then now he starts to associate the black preacher as being somewhat of a hero. Okay, so now he starts to adopt these different Christian ideologies. You know, doing the right thing. Basically, everything you see in the New Testament, all this Jesus shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is why a lot of times you will see black women on these dating sites and other sites, how they'll say they want a good Christian man. You got to watch that bullshit. Watch these fucking women that's talking about they want a good Christian man. That's a black up man. A motherfucker who gonna always, quote unquote, do the right thing. All right? And I'm gonna drop this on you. So this black man, like I said, he's guilty from the poor choices of his mother, okay? And his father's this boogeyman-like figure, and he tries to become the opposite archetype of whatever he thought his father was. So if he thought his father was this boogeyman, then he wants to be a Captain Save-A-Ho. He lacks information from his father's history because his parents probably never really had a bond, as I said. And then he tries to become a good man, quote-unquote, and do the right thing. So you'll hear these niggas saying shit like, you know, well, I wifed her up because she got pregnant. I had to just, quote unquote, do the right thing. That's a black up man. And then, as I said, from a young age, the black up man is first deceived about the female archetype from his mother. She attempts to make a perfect image of herself and blame the black father for everything. This castrates him from an early age, and it also programs a false Captain Save-A-Ho-like personality in the young black up man. These are the men you see always protecting a woman simply because she's a woman. So you'll have these black up men that'll say, you know, that they always running to protect some woman just because she has a vagina. This is the black up man because the woman can do no wrong, because subconsciously they all remind him of his mother. And as I told you all on the previous tape, this is also linked into subconsciously how this so-called black woman knows she's the mother of the planet. So that's why she projects this energy onto everybody. But the number one person she does it to is the so-called black man. And the black man who's affected by it is the black up man. Because not all black men go by that. Go give a fuck about that bullshit. But the black up man is affected by that. So this is why when he hears the Negro bedstitch say things to the other black men like me who call her out, and they'll say things like, oh, well, your mother is black and you must not like your mom and your sisters. Then the black up man will come in my comment section and reinforce what she just said. Now, and the reason why he's saying that is because he's thinking about his mom. So when he sees me calling Negro bedstitches out, I remind him of his missing father, who either A, was beating on his mom, cheating on his mom, gave his mom some disease, and all the other weird, wacky things that may have happened because he doesn't know the real history between him and his mom. So this is a reason what it is. All the Blackbeard Mirages, all the Mr. Controversies, all the Hardcore Tito's, all the David Carrolls. We are that archetype that the black up man has created in his mind that thinks was the boogeyman father, the one that did his mom so wrong. And that's why they be so quick to attack us, because we remind him of that. And because he doesn't know who his father was. So it's like that boogeyman in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Once you see that shadow move, or you hear this big ass, you know what I'm saying, noise, you don't know how that shit looks. So in your imagination, it's a lot scarier than how it really is. But the story really wasn't like that. The story may have been, you know, your mom and your dad just broke up, you know, or your mom was really a thought. Or maybe, you know, your mom cheated on him, or maybe your mom just, you know, was at work too much and it didn't work out and your dad left. But either way it go, like the reason could be either big or small, but the black up man makes it this spooky boogeyman because his mother doesn't tell him the truth. And he tries to solve it in a feminine white way, and he's not using his masculine brain. He's not organizing and assembling his thoughts. You see, this is the black up man's at work. And this is why they don't like people like me, because I represent that man who was the pump and dump guy. This is why he don't like the bad boy. This is why he don't like the guy who talks about just running through the women, find them, fuck them, and flee on my NWA Eazy-E shit. He don't like them type of men because they all remind him of what he think his father was, based on the shit his mother said and based on the shit in his imagination that he created. You know what I'm saying? So this is why they don't like us, and this is why these black men are very, very dangerous. This is why they will come in that comment section talking all kind of reckless shit to you. This is why you don't never see them calling that Negro bed stench out. This is why you don't see any of this shit. Because we remind these black up men of the missing father that they thought they never, well, really that they never had. You know, and then it's this boogeyman like image of him that comes from what his mother has told him, that comes from what he's seen on Oprah and the whole pro neo-feminist culture that he's seen, the hyena feminist culture that he sees every time he sees the sexual assaults. You know, every time he see a new Me Too campaign, he's always thinking, damn, it's these men again, especially these fucking black ones. So this is the black up man's core root of why he hates the brothers like me, or why he will constantly stalk my shit and bother my shit, because I remind him of that boogeyman image of his father in his mind that was supported by his mother, because his mother did not tell him the truth when as a child. She never told him the history of his father. She never told him of the history between her and his father. And she blamed everything on the father. And she took no accountability of what she did or what she did not do. So she left him in the dark. And what this did was it activated and it created an imbalance. And he was charged by too much chaos energy, too much unorganized energy. The puzzle in his mind was not put into the right pieces. And he was trying to process all this in a feminine-like way, and he never had a man or a father around to show him to think in that masculine-like way, to organize his thoughts, to not be emotional, to be rational, to be logical. Because you got to balance the left brain and the right brain. It's not supposed to be all women. It's not supposed to be all man. It's not supposed to be all feminine. It's not supposed to be all masculine. It's supposed to be balanced. This is why the Most High gave us a father and a mother. But the black man was robbed of that. Most black men have been robbed of that because of the culture. Because this whole single mother, strong, independent, fake Negro black woman culture we in. So most of us, you know what I'm saying, are at it or have to probably suffer from that. But it's really just a roll of the dice. Like with my situation, it was a roll of the dice. Hell, I'm looking at my parents. It wasn't even no crazy shit to where, you know what I'm saying, I was at least even born through some shit that was okay and somewhat decent. You know, because these days, folks not only are married, but a lot of these people are born through one night stands. You know what I'm saying? Being fucked in some gas station bathroom, you know, never saw the dad again. When the woman was pregnant and then the child came out, the father wasn't there. It's a lot of people born in shit like that. And by the grace of God, I wasn't. So a lot of brothers out here, man, it's a lot of black up men out here. And that shit exists inside of all black men. They got to watch it. They got to watch it. Because see, me personally, there's no black up man inside of me, you know. Because I saw my father always check things, and then I saw my mother sit there and agree with him. So that's why my psychology isn't warped. Because these abrasive, aggressive, masculine principles and masculine codes, I saw my mother actually agree to them. So when my father would start talking crazy and reckless about certain subjects that in reality were true, my mother agreed. She didn't castrate my father. She would say, yes, he's right. Or she would say, no, he's wrong. But either way it goes, my mother and father, they were the perfect balance. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a listener and he was a talker. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it naturally worked out for me. You know, and I know the history. So this is the black up man's key issue, his Norman Bates psycho-like issue. He was robbed of how to think in the masculine way. And his mother passed on that unorganized feminine way of thinking to him. So he processes his own thoughts and his own emotions through a feminine way of thinking. He doesn't know how to organize his thoughts. He doesn't know how to use his own masculine natural tools. Why? Because there was no male figure around to teach him these things. And then on top of that, his mother castrated him and deceived and lied to him. So even if his father wasn't around, he was robbed the opportunity to even go figure it out on his own because his mother already clouded his mind with so much bullshit. So she didn't allow him to go into the world to figure it out on his own as a young boy to become a man. Because even if your father isn't there, you can still turn out all right. Just go in the jungle and learn it on your own. But if your mom castrates you by either over babying you, once again, lying and deceiving you and all that other bullshit, then you're not going to get it. You're going to grow up thinking like she do and responding to everything like she does. This is some serious shit, and this is that black up man at work. But watch that good Christian man shit. That good Christian man shit is that black up man shit. Because that black preacher reinforces everything that black female does. And that black preacher does it because why? That black female is paying him. That's the whore and he's the pimp. So he gonna say everything she want to hear. And what she wants to hear is everything that's a lie to her son, so her son don't be mad at her and run off on her, because she needs some kind of male in her life to cut the grass. You see what I'm saying? To wash the dishes and do all the bullshit she don't want to fucking do. So if the truth come out by that black preacher, he may run his son away. So that's yet another man that she done ran away. So the black up man has to stay castrated, and he has to stay in his eunuch stage by that black Christian preacher. That's why these black men in that church dealing with the most bullshit. They got the most stress. They the most depressed. They in their cars drinking liquor. Some of them cheating on their wives. They watching porn. They doing all this shit because they trying to be a good Christian man to a fucking black bitch and a goddamn cheating ass, Pharisees ass preacher. Black preacher, nigger preacher. So that black up man, you better wake up. And this is your part 1. And you can look out for some more of this shit. War. Real war. Okay? This is some war shit. And as we know, it's also some raw shit. Real and warlike. But it's that black up man. I'm on your ass. Stay tuned. I'm out.